Hi, my name is Andy. I'm a sophomore, and in the musical, I am playing the role of Major General Stanley.
Hi, my name is Hitlali. I'm a senior, and I'm playing Kate.
Hello, my name is Nona, and I am a sophomore, and this is my first time ever stage managing a show.
My name is Adrian Schneider, and I am a junior, and I'm not deck captaining for this show currently, but I have been deck captain for 3 other shows, and I'm run crew for this show.
Hi, I'm Miranda. I'm the lightboard operator for the Pirates of Penzance.
My name is Sarah. I am a junior and I am the assistant soundboard.
I'm Max. I'm a sophomore and I'm the set designer for Pirates of Penzance.
You know, as an actor, you are kind of the ones that get seen on the stage. Obviously, no disrespect to the tech people, we love them. So I feel like a lot of the early parts of rehearsals are really focused on us, making sure we know the blocking, memorizing lines, and then when we get to Tech Week, it's definitely more for the tech people because hopefully by that point the actors all kind of know what they're doing. Sometimes I know what I'm doing.
As an actor, I would say there's an interesting role we have where we're both directing and being directed in our scenes. So it's a very interesting relationship where you have to be flexible but also confident enough in your actions to know that what you are doing will reflect well on stage.
I end up sending out a lot of emails, and we do this thing called blocking, and I have to keep note of all the blocking. I have to have exactly where everyone's going. I have to keep track of where everyone's supposed to be, even though we end up loosely straying away from that a little bit later. But yeah, I find it really fun.
So basically what run crew does is, there's so many props in every show. So basically we organize the backstage to make sure that all the props are back there. We make a props table with all the props on them. And then we have to move all the aspects of the set. Sometimes it's just a little bit. Sometimes you're just moving one prop, like a piece of paper or something like that. But oftentimes it's like chairs, tables, other various items on the set. And it's a lot of work.
Being the lightboard operator means that for the most part, I take Nona's cues and then I click a button to switch it to the next light cue. But sometimes we have to take lights in and out of a scene. And then that's when I get to press even more buttons.
Everything that's microphones related, I'm kind of controlling all the volumes for that. Whenever someone comes on stage and they start singing, if they have a microphone, I turn up their microphone and try and make it so that it doesn't get too loud or too quiet. I will also help run the sound checks to make sure that all the microphones are working.
I designed the set, shocker. So I make drawings, I research previous productions for inspirations and skim through the script to see what we need. And then I give it to Fing, and because we're a small company, I also play a big part in building the set.
Rehearsals are going until God knows when, and the show is basically my whole life. But honestly, it is a really great environment of people when you're kind of trapped in the same attic for, who knows how long every day. So just, making sure that you got your head in the game, not being too stressed about it, even when things are kind of not going as planned, because it always ends up turning out really good in the end, especially on opening night when we're all super stressed from the rehearsal before. So just making sure to have fun with it and not, taking it too seriously because it's the end game.
I would say first thing, get a lot of snacks because we're here until 8. Outside of rehearsal, I do try to get all of my work done, even though we do get a study hall for Tech Week. And then I am a heavy relier on finding a quiet place in the attic so that I don't get because it gets really loud in the attic during Tech Week.
So once I get to Tech Week, we end up having to combine a lot of different elements together. So I'll end up having cues in my book now. So I'll be on headset all the time, and throughout the whole entire show, I'm talking basically and saying, lights 43, go, sound, be ready for this. And making sure that our sound technicians know what they're doing. We have our spotlights, making sure that they know who to be on and all that other stuff. And then making sure backstage we have all of the set prepared and ready to go. Making sure that the deck captain knows when certain cues are for scene changes and stuff like that. So it's a lot, but it's really fun.
I would say, not to like boost my ego here, but I would say that we're the most important part of Tech Week, because for the pre-production, we're kind of not doing anything because there's nothing to move yet and everybody's figuring out the blocking. But after all the blocking's figured out, that's when we start doing things. And basically we have to sit backstage for like all of Tech Week, and we have to figure out where to move everything, when to move everything. We have to write all that down and print it out and change it accordingly.
Well, we started like incorporating the lights last week, so it's just been like kind of getting used to the cues, because like for the most part none of them need to be like that's like strictly pressed immediately except for a few, so it's good to be like really familiar with which ones require more attention and which ones I can just listen to Nona to.
Before Tech Week, we don't really do that much, and then as Tech Week starts approaching, we tend to start doing more because we are part of like the tech. So this week kind of ends up being a lot about us. The further we get into Tech Week, the more you end up doing, and you also don't have a whole lot of time to practice beforehand. So it's like once Tech Week rolls around, this is your time to go, get everything ready.
Mostly just like last minute touch-ups on the set, and like I say I'll probably be teaching some run crew like how to move things if they're kind of complicated. I think by Tech Week like my work is pretty done, so it's a lot of just like last minute little finicky bits.
Honestly, I might have to say Tech Week, which is kind of maybe a hot take, but just when you get to that point in the show where you've already like gotten so close as a cast and you're staying in the same attic for, you know, rehearsals for like 6 hours a day, you get like, it's just a really great experience getting to hang out with people. And you know, when we get all the costumes and the lights and we're like getting so close to opening night, it's just such a great feeling. And then when you finally do that first show, it's like perfect.
I don't know, I really like the process of like how the show comes together, and I like the excitement that you get when you see how far it's come and you see all of the elements that come together, like the costumes, the set, the lights, the everything, the music. Oh, I love when the orchestra, the first day that the orchestra performs or like plays with the actors, it's wonderful.
Getting into more tech stuff, looking at the lights, I think that's one of my favorite parts, and just being around all the technicians is really fun.
My favorite part is getting to hang out with other people, and I kind of get to watch the show because I'm run crew, so I get to like sit backstage and kind of see what the actors are doing, and I get to judge the actors.
I honestly really like kind of staying at the school late and being able to interact with people and stuff, and sometimes it's not like your typical friends because you're kind of in a different environment than just like being at school regularly.
I kind of like seeing when everything just kind of comes together. You have all these different parts and slowly they all come together to create this like amazing final project, and it's just so beautiful.
I kind of like Tech Week. I know it's really stressful and like horrible, but it is nice when it's finally opening night and it like is actually a show and not just like random little stuff that I'm watching from the couch in the North Attic.
All right, I might be biased, but I might have to say the Major General song. It's probably one of my favorite songs that I sing. I also do like the start of the Act 2 finale. I think it's a lot of fun for me specifically. But I also like watching like the Pirates and the Police do their goofy little choreography stuff. It's really hard to pick one thing.
I would say I really like climbing over Rocky Mountain because it has like a choreographed dance, and I really do like choreographed dance. I think it, like, especially in musical theater, I feel like it adds another level of excitement and fun.
I would say Tech Week of this show has been really good. All of the actors have been doing amazing, and I really love how everything's been coming together. I think we've done a really, really good job, and I also really like Abigail, the subby.
I think the set is doing really well because we actually have a set designer this time around, and it's looking pretty snapping.
My favorite part of this show is cat-like tread, but specifically when Abigail is like handing out the different things. It is the most like satisfying part to my ears. It's great.
Here's your crowbar and your sentiment. My reserve may want to hit.
I really like a lot of just like the singing and the sound. There's like a whole, like the blend is great. And maybe I'm a little biased because I am in charge of the microphones, but it just sounds so nice.
I don't know if this quite counts. I like how we had all of the graduated seniors on the gravestones. I think that's a silly little like Easter egg that we came up with. It's a really goofy show in general, so like even being able to like watch the rehearsals, like even when they're unfinished, is really fun.
Yay!